On a tear in the last many days is FMCG. In fact, Marico is the stock on our radar right now. It's very close to its record highs. It's up, I think, almost 8% in the last couple of days, in the last 2 weeks rather, and over 40% this year. We have Saugata Gupta, who's the MD and CEO of Marico, who joins us now to talk about the evolving demand trends and how recovery has been. Saugata, good morning and thanks for joining us. Now that COVID cases are on the downslide, you have vaccinations that are picking up. How has demand been? I think earlier you told us about an 8 to 10% volume growth for the remainder of FY22. Would you want to scale that up given how the demand trends have improved?
I think you have to see in line with the fact that most of our portfolio being items of daily consumption, we started picking up demand from June itself when things improved a bit. Also, I think most of the sector companies have to lap up high volume growths because they had a good recovery in Q2, Q3, Q4. So I would think that demand continues to be stable, and therefore 8 to 10% volume growth for the balance year, especially the fact that we are now going to lap up a 17% and a 25% volume growth in the base of the second half in Q3 and Q4 is very much possible. I think the two things which are going good is the pace of vaccinations. We believe that that is going to ensure that even if there is a third surge, hopefully it is going to be a minor surge, relatively minor surge. And the second thing is, I think there will be rainfall improving. The only, I guess, the downside could be the inflation continuing, but I believe that inflation in some of the commodities will start softening by Q3.
Okay, Saugata, great to have you on the show this morning. Thanks for joining in. So let me sort of probe a little deeper on that growth estimation that you've put out. Is the bulk of it going to continue coming in from your leadership category, which is obviously, coconut oil? What about the foods business? I mean, will that increasingly start showing higher contribution this year itself? What are the plans? And, what will be the growth driver, say, over the next 12 to 15 months?
So I think food continues to do well. We believe we are on track to, our ambition is to hit a 450-500 crores this year and a 850 to 1,000 crores by 2024. It's a significant amount of diversification. And in addition to that, obviously, the discretionary part of the portfolio and the digital brands is another driver of growth. And I think one of the things which we are looking at is a reasonably more diversified portfolio by 2024. While food is going on track, I think we have now going to accelerate our job on premiumization in personal care and the digital brands. One of the acquisitions which we have done is doing well. Beardo continues to track well, but we need to do maybe 2-3 brands either organically, inorganically, so that we have a significant scaled up digital brands business by 24.
Saugata, good morning. For a lot of people, coconut oil obviously means parachute, right? And that's where Marico's really the brand value stands out. But of late, there's been some competition, right? And there's been aggressive move from Dabur. I think Bazaar's been making some moves. You think that it could make a bit of a dent?
So I think our job is to continue to ensure that whether through pricing, distribution, continue to maintain the leadership position. As you know, there is significant headroom for growth. And as far as Parachute is concerned, our overall medium-term aspiration is to grow 5 to 7%, and we are aligned with it. Having said that, as I said, there is a significant opportunity what we are driving in terms of expanding the total addressable market in Saffola, growing in value-added hair oils, where we continue to gain market share. And therefore, there are at least 4 to 5 pillars of growth, while we believe that given the current state in terms of the coconut oil market, there is a 5 to 7% medium-term growth, which is eminently possible.
Okay, there are many other segments in which you're growing. There is, of course, the health food segment, the male grooming segment, fabric care, hygiene. Over the next 2 to 3 years, what would the focus area of Marico be? I'm not talking about the traditional segments where you have been prevalent and, leading market share, etc. But what are the new areas where you'll be looking to sort of make fresh investments and where you see a bigger growth opportunity?
So the first thing is we believe in focus, and therefore we have to continue to grow the core. And growing the core means, as you know, that 90% of our portfolio continues to gain market share. And we talked about competitive intensity, but we have been gaining market share in all the categories. And our market share gain has been highest amongst all players, in spite of the fact that we are market leaders in coconut oil or value-added hair oil. Now, coming to the other drivers of growth, I think hygiene was a tactical move, and we have defocused because we believe that we don't have sustainable brands with strong equity, and therefore there is no big future. So our big two drivers of growth, as far as the non-core is concerned, is foods, and the second is premium personal care digital brands. And of course, in the value-added hair oil space, we operate at bottom of pyramid and the mass end. We don't have a significant presence in the premium end, which is led by hair fall as a segment. And that is one area where we want to drive growth in the future. There are also two categories, which is male grooming and serum, where penetration is low. We are market leaders, and therefore it is our job to actually drive the market growth. And they have suffered because of discretionary has suffered during the COVID. But we believe that a recovery, we are seeing early signs of recovery, and the recovery, the first step is to get back into pre-COVID levels, which we are on track, and then grow from beyond by 23, 24 if things are stable.
Saugata, having heard everything that you've said, now I want to come to margins. And it's a two-part question. One, the medium term. And now that sort of you're looking at premiumization in the hair oil segment, value-added segment over there, you spoke about more brands like Beardo and some investments there. So from a medium-term trajectory, do you see yourself targeting EBITDA margins northwards of 20%, which has been the historic high over the last few years? And the second part of the question is near term. I mean, near term, we know about the copra price pressures. We saw that pressure in the first quarter. Near term, is that out of the way?
So I think as far as gross margins is concerned in near term, let me address that, because that's, I think the worst is over. Copra has settled down, and we believe the other vegetable oils prices should start cooling down in Q3. And therefore, by H2, we should be getting back into the 19-20% comfortable space, because at the end of the day, we need to invest to grow. And therefore, we will, as far as we are concerned, as subject to a threshold level of margins for us, gaining volume growth and market share is more important than just gaining margins. Over the medium term, obviously with economies of scale and the fact that we believe that we are including some of the structural cost interventions we have started doing, I think we should be able to start slowly creeping margins up. Having said that, as I said, in the immediate term, as long as we deliver 19 to 20% volume growth with 19 to 20% EBITDA, by continuing to maximize volume growth, which is 8 to 10% in the India business and double-digit constant currency growth in the international business, we should be okay with it. And therefore, I think for us, volume growth and constant currency growth in international business and market share gain is the first thing we are focusing on. I think margins will automatically happen.
Okay, we'll watch out for this. And also any more acquisitions. I would have loved to ask you more, but we're kind of a little short on time, but we'll watch out for that space if there are more acquisitions like Beardo that you pick up along the way. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us a sense on the business this morning. That's Marico. Quick revert back to the screen, because there's